What happened yesterday? First of all, I want to give a big compliment to Lucas. Lucas was the only guy who asked the people to show the cards. I always say, ask people to show cards. No one asked about, can you show me cards? Because information is the key here. Lucas was the only guy who even asked me, show one. And some people did. Because as I told you many times, information is extremely valuable on the live poker table. And it's a simple trick. Just ask your opponent, can you show me one card? Can you show me? There was a guy next to me, I asked him, what did you have? Oh, I had ace-5 suited, thank you. Thank you for the information. That's all they need to know. And then you combine it with the things that you saw. There was a guy sitting next to me yesterday, and whenever he had a hand, he was like looking long his whole cards, really long time. He was looking like this for like 5 seconds, and then he kept his right hand, his main position was this, his right hand was on the cards, and then this. And every time he played a hand, he was looking at the cards doing this. Quick look, main position. And then it started. There was one hand, long look, this, and then this. And then he played the hand, there was no showdown. Of course I need information. So what do we need to get the information? We just ask. That's all we need to do. We just ask. And Lucas was the only guy who really had that in mind. So what I want to see from everyone today is ask, show me one card. Information is so valuable. Literally, have this in your mind. Every time you get information, you basically get the money. That's basically like every time you see a card or get extra information, that's money that you make and your opponent doesn't. That's how simple it is. And the second thing is, just so you guys understand, on the poker table, everyone is your opponent. Even though the people that you play against and you know from like, oh, I play here every weekend, everyone knows me. Of course, but you're still on the poker table and your opponent still want to take the money from you. So giving away information is not smart. The good thing was Lucas asked, right? So that's a big benefit. Okay? One thing, Lucas, that you really have to start doing, you did this sometimes, the main position always, and you have to hide your face. Remember this one hand where I said you have absolutely nothing? And you're like, well, how do you know, right? Because I saw it in your face. Whenever you have a strong hand, your face is like really serious. You're like, raise, all in. And when you have like a weak hand or nothing, you're like, raise. Like this. But what you did afterwards, and you just did this sometimes with the hoodie, you covered your mouth. And then I had no clue what you had. So I want to see this from you today. Cover your mouth, and maybe you can combine this with your main position. Because your face is really, I know exactly, just look in your face, and I know what you have. Cover your mouth, and you will see no one can read you. Marty, I want to talk to you next. Yeah? So, Marty, for you, 2 things. The first thing, you started off perfectly. But I knew this because you said you want to play more like a robot in the beginning. So in the beginning, you played absolutely perfect. So what I did was we just talked and we had a chat, we had fun. That's what we do on the poker table. We play and we have fun and we chat. And then, because, time passed, you became more comfortable. And then things started, which is normal, right? You played really well, just so you know, everyone here. You played really well. But 2 things that I saw. The first one was that you have to be careful when you want to fold. There were a lot of times when you wanted to fold and you had your cards already like this. So I knew exactly you will fold. And I just played one position earlier. So you have to be really careful. A lot of times when this happened, we had a chat and we talked. And you're like, oh, blah, blah, and you hold the cards already like this. I don't think you noticed, but this is what I saw. That's the first thing. And the second thing for everyone, this is not just what I saw from Marta, but from everyone. What thoughts do you have when you go all in? You go all in, and it's for your tournament life. What do you think? What's going on in your mind? The opponent already called. The opponent called, and the dealer lays down the cards and everything. What do you think? What's going on in your mind? What's running in your mind? It's over. So I think, to be honest, you want to have you have something positive in your mind. It doesn't really matter what you think, but you want to have something positive. There was one hand, if you remember, where I can't remember the hand exactly, but you hit the miracle card on the river. I really could see that your mind wasn't really positive at all. You had this negative thoughts in your mind. And I think that's the truth for everyone, especially when you're behind, you're like, like this. Really try in those moments, in those high pressure situations, to stay calm and have a positive mind. And why do you think is that? What's the reason for it? No one knows? Why should we be positive in our mind? Yeah. Any ideas? Manifest, yes. Yeah. Matteo said, oh yeah, I cannot control the cards anymore.
Negative thoughts bombard you with stress hormones.
Exactly. So first of all, you have negative thoughts in your mind. Because our brain is so powerful, you really have to understand how powerful our brain is. If we have negative thoughts in your mind, or another example, if we go all in and we stand up and we're like, our body is like super tense. the brain releases stress hormones. And what do you think happens if you play a tournament for 8 hours, 10 hours? Today is the main event, for example. Let's say you have 10 different all-in situations. You always stand up and like, you stand up on the poker table as you see it in nearly every stream that you watch. What do you think happens to the brain? You get stress hormones. And if you for 10 hours have multiple instances where the stress hormones, the spikes go up, you cannot focus anymore. And again, you give your opponent a huge edge over yourself. And that's not what we want. The reason why you're here with me today is because you want to have an edge over your opponent. So we don't give the edge to the opponents by telling them what cards we have, first of all. And second of all, by not giving ourselves extra stress hormones that should not be there. Why? So what I really want everyone to do today is to stay calm, first of all, in all-in situations today, and to be positive. I really can see, like if you watch it on stream, maybe we see it if we take a look later on. But in some all-in situations, you guys like this, right? I could see it in the face. Is that a calm and a positive mind? No, right? Really try to stay cool and calm. You cannot control the cards. Outcome doesn't change, but try to stay positive. Marta, this is like one thing that I really want you to focus on today, to stay positive in all in situations, because you said something that I really loved. Marta said to me one thing that I absolutely loved. She said her goal is to leave the poker table with a smile. And that's so powerful. That's exactly what I just mentioned. Leave the poker table with a smile. And that doesn't mean that when you're in an old situation, you're like, and then like this, right? Really enjoy it. Look at this view. Look at where we are. It's so amazing. And yet you feel stressed and sad when you get kicked out of a sit and go. Really try to stay positive, enjoy it also. Because just think about the following. If I just give you randomly $1 million, of course you will be happy. But what would be better than that? If you grind hard, for example, as a poker player, you grind hard, you get kicked out of tournaments, maybe you lose half your bankroll, you go on a downswing, you go on an upswing, and then you win a big tournament. That's the whole journey. But the whole journey also have negative moments. The negative moments are part of something good. Keep that in mind. Most of you really looked at each other. At the beginning, the first game we played, it was even a little bit uncomfortable. You know, people like this, you know, looking me at the eyes like, okay, you have something or what, right? Like this, you know? It looks funny, but of course, that's what I want to see. One thing as well I want to really point out is, yes, you looked at me, but I still had the feeling you just looked because you know that I teach this. What do we want to look at? What I need you to understand is we have two parts. First part is the head. The head, the eyes, the face. That's the first part that we can spot tells. The second part is everything below the head. Hands, fingers. So one thing that I really want you to understand is if you look at a person, you see a lot of times which area is weaker, let's say. Where do you see a tell? With Lucas, I said, right, it's the face. The hands, he has like this, like with the chips, like super fast, you know, you see that he already plays poker for many, many years. So I don't think with the hands you can see a lot, but the face. So I'm just focusing on the face. Why should I look at the fingers and the hands? Makes no sense. It's just the face that I look at. But with others, you know, as I said before in the beginning, there was a guy who checked his cards like this and the main position was this. And when he had a strong hand, he kept the right hand a little longer on the cards. I don't need to look at the face. Why should I look at the face when the hands give me everything? So you need to understand first, what is it? Is it the face or is it the lower part? And one thing I really have to say, no one did. No one. You see this on stream in the first round specifically. What's the big benefit if someone sits next to us? What do we see when someone sits next to us? What others don't? The feet, the legs. Why didn't no one ever just lean back and took a look like this? No one. It was just like romantic staring in the eyes the whole time. That was all I saw. You even saw me, but you didn't do it yourself. Feet also give away a lot. You know, you have those running feet, you know? That's when people get nervous. Let's start with Mario first. You played overall really, really well. Yeah, especially you're not even in the coaching and you really made a lot of things right. I really have to point that out. The only thing that I would train with you, if you would be in the coaching, is in all in situations, your neck, your pulse, and especially this like, you know, this thing. What do you guys think? Just a question for everyone. How do you think we can train something like that to stay more calm in all in situations? How do you think we can train that? The answer is quite simple. It's meditation or visualization. Because with meditation or visualization, we can put ourselves into situations that don't often occur, which means, for example, all in situations with high pressure. So if we really meditate or visualize being in the spot multiple times, we can stay more calm in those situations. Other than that, Marius, I have to take a look at the stream. Randy, the only thing I said this in the beginning is you have a main position, right? So just so you know, for everyone, a main position is a situation that we want to go in whenever we are in the hand or not in the hand, doesn't really matter. But as long as we're in the main position, we have a shield, a guard. So we cannot be red. You have a really good main position, you have like this. But sometimes if you check your cards, you have one hand where you look to the hand stays on the card. Be careful, because this was a sign of strength. So be careful, always check cards right back in main position, always. The rest, we will take a look in the stream, and of course, I will also play against you today. I will ask each one of you to show me cards, to tell me what you had. Do not answer this question. I say it every time again, do not answer this question. Because yesterday I got more information than I could think of. I said it so often, do not answer me, do not talk to me. You're like, what do you have? Oh, ace-5 suited, why do you ask? Oh, okay, yeah. So do not answer this question, okay, please. I say it again and I know people will answer it.